Well, he knocked me up and left for a year. So, I mean, there might be some other women out there.
Wait a minute. In fairness.
That may not be able to count how many partners they've been with, but I know it was his kid.
In fairness.
All right.
Hold up, did she just say he knocked her up and dipped for a year? Yeah, we're not in rom-com territory anymore. This is court, and Judge Vonda's about to turn this emotional roller coaster into a financial reality check. Buckle up.
Guys, Judge Vonda B. Court is now in session. Judge, this is case number JVB 1016, Cheney case. Judge, both parties have been sworn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You all may be seated.
All right, guys, this one's gonna hit hard. Imagine going out for celebratory drinks and waking up 18 months later in court over daycare payments, ghosting, and baby daddy drama. Mrs. Cheney says he vanished. Now he's back, demanding rights without responsibilities. But is he a broke dad or a slick manipulator hiding behind self-employment? Let's break it all down, because this courtroom is about to explode.
After a promotion, and everybody else left. It left us two. Had a little too much to drink. Anyway, I ended up pregnant. He's completely out of the picture. Doesn't answer text calls, whatever. All of a sudden, he comes to me and says he wants to be a part of our kid's life. And I said, okay, well, you're going to have.
And here's where it gets real. 18 months MIA, and now he wants weekend dad privileges without even a Huggies receipt to his name? What would you do if someone ghosted you for 547 days, then said, hey, I'm back. Where's my kid?
To give me child support. I'm not just going to let you all of a sudden be dad, you know? And
How old is the child?
He's 18 months.
Okay.
So he dipped for nearly 2 years and now wants to be a dad, but not pay child support. Oh, the AUDA. She's holding him to it, and rightfully so. Childcare isn't free, and neither is fatherhood. Gen Z would say, bro's trying to co-parent on clearance. What would you have done if he ghosted after one wild night?
18 months, yeah.
Okay, continue.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's like, well, I can't pay child support, but I'll pay the daycare bill. Daycare's $8.55 a month. Okay. He claims he only makes $24,000 a year. That adds up to almost half his income if that's what he actually said. I mean, this is not the way a guy who lives a life of $24,000. I mean, that suit probably costs like, I don't know, half that or something.
It is a nice suit.
I shop clearance.
Okay.
I do pretty well on sales.
He shops on.
Y'all, let's not ignore this fashion versus finance paradox. He's rocking a suit that screams Wall Street, but his tax return is whispering broke entrepreneur. Is this self-employment or self-deception?
Clearance.
Okay. I've never seen that suit at JCPenney, but all right.
Okay. So $855 a month in daycare. You say you make $24,000 a year.
$24,000 a year, that is
And
correct.
I do have his tax returns that he produced showing $24,000 a year, but you're self-employed?
$24,000 a year and that fresh-pressed suit. Something ain't adding up. And let's not ignore the fact he did his own taxes. Self-employed? Or self-inflated? The judge sees the math ain't mathing, and Mrs. Cheney smells a financial ghost. Is he plain broke to dodge the bill?
Okay. And living expenses, they're shared between your roommates?
Pretty much we kind of split the groceries, things like that. Utilities get split evenly.
Okay. Well, then that kind of makes sense. So you're asking, what exactly are you asking for him to do?
My name's Naru Witherspoon. I'm an attorney, and I'm licensed in Illinois, Texas, and Missouri. I handle cases for families all over the nation. And I want to talk to you about Vonda Bailey. Vonda Bailey is a family.
Now he's splitting rent and raiment with roommates, claiming he can't even afford toothpaste, yet somehow covers $855 in daycare. Either this man's living in a Netflix budgeting series, or he's financing the system.
This is the part most people don't get. Legally, courts don't make you pay both daycare and child support. It's either or. But if he's choosing the more expensive option voluntarily, what's the play here? Guilt, strategy, or just no clue how the law works?
But here's the catch: daycare child support. Let that sink in.
That it seems kind of sketchy that he can afford almost $900 a month in daycare, but won't pay child support. I feel like there's something going on with the money situation. There's got to be a reason why he's doing things the way he does.
So you want him to pay $855 in daycare and child support?
I mean, he wants to be a part of his life.
That
for the
wasn't
first
my question.
Okay.
Do you want him to pay $855 in daycare as well as pay child support on top of that?
She's not asking for the moon, just fairness. And here's the real twist. Legally, he can't pay both daycare and court-ordered support. It's either or. The judge is laying down the facts, and suddenly, the courtroom becomes a masterclass in family law. Should she compromise or stand her ground?
So what would be a middle ground for you?
I guess we'd have to kind of discuss what would be child support versus daycare and how the parental responsibilities would change. Would he get them on weekends? Would he get them on holidays? Things like that. So, because he doesn't live real close either, you know.
Well, we're here today, so let's discuss it. Like I said, he cannot pay daycare on top of child support. It just can't happen. So if you were...
She's clearly confused, and honestly, who wouldn't be? This is her first rodeo in the legal ring, and she's swinging solo. No lawyer, no handbook, just instinct and frustration.
Let's talk emotional labor. While he was off the grid, she was solo parenting through hospital visits and midnight feedings. Now he's in court trying to skip the invoice? Nah, sir. Rights come with responsibilities, not just Instagram selfies and birthday balloons.
The judge's patience is tested, and now the real question, is she here to negotiate or get legal revenge?
What you can do, what you can't do, what happens with visitation and stuff like that. You know, he was out in the entire first year, completely absent. So I paid 100% of everything. You know, he was in the hospital after he was born. I took care of those bills.
And you didn't give her any money?
Not at that point, Your Honor, no.
What was the reason for that?
I was effectively in the same situation I am now. Again, being self-employed, my income has not gone up. There was a little bit of a disconnect.
18 months of silence, not a dime, not even a diaper. And now he's all, I want a relationship. Timing is everything, and his couldn't be worse. She's done the heavy lifting alone. Now he wants rights without receipts. Nah, accountability doesn't skip town for a year.
You know.
Well, he knocked me up and left for a year. So, I mean, there might be some other women out there
Wait a minute. In fairness,
that may not be able to count how many partners they've been with, but I know it was his kid.
In fairness, he wasn't alone in knocking you up.
I get that. And I took 100% responsibility for that child for a full 12 months. Okay.
Let's not blame it all on him. You have one child, correct? Okay, so let's stick to what is in front of us. We're not worried about any other children that may be out there.
Boom. She drops a savage line. He knocked me up and dipped. Then hints he might have done this before. Ouch. But the judge isn't here for the drama. She's keeping it tight, reminding both sides. You've got one child, one case, and zero time for speculation.
How much do you pay?
It's like 130 or something a month. It comes right out of my check, so I'm not sure the exact amount of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I'm looking
130,
at
133, something like that.
I'm looking at what you also turned in. It looks like it's about $113.
13, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is what we're going to do to make it fair, because he is paying about 3 times the amount that his child support should be.
Yeah, well, his bar bills are about the price of that, too.
And there it is, $349. That's what he'd legally owe in child support based on his reported income. But guess what? He's been paying $855. Dude's already tripled the number and didn't even realize it. Plot twist, he's overpaying voluntarily. Or is it guilt?
$855 plus the $113, it comes out to $968 a month in child support. So $968 would be all that he pays. And out of that, that would include whatever, if you change daycares, let me just make sure I'm very clear on this. If you change daycares and the amount goes up to $1,000, all he's responsible for is the $855 for the day.
Oof, the final ruling stings, but it's fair. $968 a month for daycare and health coverage, that's not a punishment, that's math. And let's be honest, if he can budget for a $300 bar tab, he can budget for baby wipes.
Daycare, that's it. That's all you're responsible for, but the health...
The judge makes it official. He'll cover the daycare and reimburse her health insurance. Total, $968. That's not a ruling. It's a financial slap with a bow on it. And if he wants to dodge that extra $113, Easy, put the kid on his insurance plan. Accountability with options.
Potentially lowering it, or at least the two of us coming to some sort of agreement saying, you know, I'm already paying 45% of my salary. I've got to pay now $968 a month, which is, again, more than double what I'm supposed to be paying in child support.
You've been paying, although it's 3 times the amount, you've been comfortably paying this. This isn't something that she necessarily, well, when I say comfortably, I don't know your...
Now he's sweating. You mean I gotta pay almost $1,000? Yes, King, you already were. The judge claps back with facts. You've been managing just fine with roommates and Raymond. But the law bends for the child's best interest, and daycare comes first. Harsh or just?
That's what you can do. But based on what you all have been telling me, you've been paying daycare, it's $855. That would be in the best interest of the child to at least make sure that the daycare expense is covered. So, like I said, if you guys decide to come with something different, you can come back and modify that, and I'd be happy to enter in the number that you all come up with. Is there anything further today? Okay. Anything further? No. Okay. Well, if there's nothing further, you all are dismissed.
So what just happened? A dad who vanished now pays nearly $1,000 a month, not by punishment, but by math. The judge found balance, not revenge. One side cried support, the other struggle. But the child? They won. If this courtroom twist hit you like it hit me, drop your thoughts, hit like, and subscribe for more raw courtroom realness.